Hello everyone, I am Wolf from Wolf and Raven Gaming, and today I am finally getting around to my review of Rise of the Tomb Raider. I did originally start playing this game when it first came out. I was going to do first impressions right away, and then I ended up holding off because, well, frankly, I had a hard time playing it. I was busy at work a lot, and I didn't get back to it as much as I wanted to right off the bat. Now, when the original remake of Tomb Raider came out, I was kind of cautious. I'm not a big fan of a lot of remakes. I find they usually try to fit them into a cookie cutter and it kind of stays there. So I was a little cautious to say the least, but I did play it. I liked playing it. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit linear. So when I saw this one was coming out, I was pretty excited. I was hoping that the devs would step up their game, make a game that would really fit the franchise. Um, Not to say that the original Tomb Raiders weren't linear, because that most games were back then. This one, as you can see, the videos that they make are good. The graphics in the game are really good. The tutorial, as you can see, is fairly fast paced as far as trying to make you feel that you are really in danger. Avalanche coming down, as you can see there. Uh, Controls are fairly easy to use. I was playing with a controller on my computer as opposed to a keyboard and mouse. For a lot of single player games, I do just for the simplicity of the controls. If I'm playing something like a shooter or something that's competitive, I tend to use my keyboard and mouse to give me more ability and control. Um, Not really much to say about how the gameplay goes. It is again fairly linear as it was last time. The gameplay is pretty easy to get along with. If you don't make your jumps right, you usually end up dying, but there are some places where you'll still survive and get another chance without reloading. As far as the story goes, I didn't find the story on this one all that captivating. I had a hard time coming back to it after I left it for a month or two. The expedition mode, a little different. You can unlock different cards to give you different abilities for your expeditions, and you can adjust it, make it harder, make it easier. Give yourself better weapons. Then you can play single player all the way through. Crafting system works similar to the original Tomb Raider, well, the original remake, or Far Cry had another similar system. Uh, it works. Being able to upgrade your gear is nice, but I find when they do it in games like this, they tend to make it so if you just go around a couple little starting areas enough, you can get most of your upgrades. Far Cry tried to adjust that by making it so you had to get rare pieces, and they kind of did this in Tomb Raider 2, but you can get skills that let you get rare off of regular critters, which makes it easier to get your gear. The backgrounds are beautifully done. They didn't just do the up close stuff with good graphics, they made sure they made a whole world around it that you could see. And I guess you can kind of say it's open world. You can go back and forth, go into different places you've already been, but in my opinion, it's still too linear. Once you start the storyline, you pretty much just keep going, and the only thing you really ever go back for is to your collectibles or your uh, special dungeons or extra dungeons. Nothing that's really critical to the game. You just keep going in a straight line, and usually there's maybe two ways around an enemy, but not much more than that. They did put some neat features in with regards to learning the languages, so you can translate stuff and different objectives like that, but it still doesn't really feel like it was critical to the game to learn it as far as I've gotten. Now, as you're going through the game, you can stop at certain points, check your campfire, stuff like that. We'll show you one of those here in a few minutes. The menus are pretty nice. Your pause menu tells you what your friends scored in that area. As far as I can tell, it goes off your Steam friends list if you're playing it through Steam. You can reload a checkpoint if you think you missed something and you haven't hit another checkpoint yet. You can go back, look for it. You've got your maps, your documents, anything you've collected, found, different tutorials, relics, again, just a collectible in the game, a little bit of history, and of course your resources, which you use to make your upgrades as you're going through different missions and challenges in the areas. Not all that interesting, really. They'll give you a mission, you go finish it, get a little extra bonus in supplies or maybe a weapon, depending on what it is. The weapons, you're kind of limited to 4 categories, and like most of the shooters, you can have 4 weapons on you at a time, while technically 5 if you count your climbing axe. You have what's called a survival skill, or survival instincts, where you can look and it'll show you things that'll glow, your targets, your enemies, stuff like that, and you can upgrade those skills. Now, once I got farther into the game, this last section of video is about 50% through the game. As you can see, I've got different gear on. I've got an upgraded pistol. I've got my axe. I've got my radio. As you can see, the graphics on the background still, they didn't waste any anywhere where they could make it look good. You've got your different equipment menus. As you can see, I've now got all 4 types of weapons. I've got my pistol. I've got shotguns, rifles, bows. There's my pump action shotgun. And of course, rifles. Now, you can get hold of different types of each of these, but you can only put one of each type on you at a time. And each one has its own benefits. Some do more damage, some give you more fire rate, etc. The menu, as far as when you're at a base camp, you can look at your skills. You can upgrade your skills only at a base camp. You can't do them in the field. As you can see, I've gotten fairly well upgraded on what I want to be upgraded on at this point. Then you have your inventories, ammunition and equipment, regular arrows, silent, nice killer, your poison gas arrows if you want to get a group of people, flaming arrows, and of course explosive arrows. Then, what I haven't unlocked yet, you can actually make hollow point bullets and dragonfire shells for your shotgun. Equipment is your quiver, your pouches, your bullet pouches, your equipment pouches, and of course the tools for upgrading. Each time you want to upgrade to the next level of upgrades, you got to go find or buy the tool. You can buy equipment from one of the bad guys. He is in a little hut. You find him partway through the game. Different bows you can find. Recurve. Compound, of course, what I usually keep on me. And then, of course, you got some specialty ones, the Ancient Hornbow, the Guiding Light, and the Grim Whisper, which I have not yet completed. Then some of these are special, some have special abilities. Pay attention to what you're doing when you're picking them. Lets you know what you're going to use. Pistols, revolver, semi-auto. The Accipiter Nox, which is really just a semi-auto of a different color. And there's a heavy pistol that I have not unlocked yet. Then, of course, you got rifles after that. You got everything from an SMG right there, assault rifle, all the way up to, of course, a bolt action rifle, which would be for long range shots, high damage. Then, of course, the named weapons. I've got Snowflake unlocked. It came with one of the packs with the season pass. So did Golden Fang, which is the one you find me using most of the time. Shotguns. I've got pump action. I've got one called the Void Hammer, which is a double barrel shotgun, sawed off. And I've got the Harbinger, which is a military style automatic shotgun. And there is one that I have not, well, there's more than one that I haven't found yet, but of course you got your picks. They don't really change much. This one is called Death Song, and I only get it because I am wearing the Nightshade outfit. There are other outfits you can wear. Huntress, Immortal Guardian if you want to wear plate mail. Ancient Vanguard if you want to wear chainmail. For a more modern military look, you've got Siberian Ranger, or of course, we've got the Infiltrator outfit. Now, these top 6 on my list, they all have slightly different bonuses. The rest of them are just for looks. Nothing is really going to help you a lot in this. Some are help you heal faster, stuff like that. So my ratings for Rise of the Tomb Raider, for graphics, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. They did really good on their graphics, and their backgrounds took the time to do it properly. For the storyline, I'd probably only give it a 2 out of 5. I find it very linear, not very captivating. Gameplay, as far as ease of play, I would give it a 4 out of 5. As far as actual options of what you can do, I'd only give it a 2 out of 5. As far as the crafting system, it's a crafting system. It's the same as in the original Tomb Raider. There weren't many changes to it, so I would probably only give that a 3 out of 5. Overall, for the whole game, I would give it a rating of 3 out of 5. I like my stories to be captivating. What can I say? I like something that's going to grab my attention and hold it, that's going to have a lot of replayability, and there's really not in this, in my opinion. I mean, the expeditions give it some replayability, but not enough for it to really interest me in that way. And not really a lot you can do to just challenge people to it or have fun with it. It's just kind of there. Once you're done, it's just kind of sitting there looking at you going, well, what do we do now? Anyway, that's it for my review of Rise of the Tomb Raider. Thank you for watching. And as always, if you have any suggestions of games you want me to review or games you want me and the group to get together and see what we can mess up, then by all means leave it in the comments or send it to us over on our Twitter page.